How to protect yourself from black magic. These are the occult secrets that no one's going to tell you about. Hey, my name's Excel. I'm a lifelong shaman and I teach you how to talk to the universe. So before we even get into black magic, we need to understand how it fundamentally works. So black magic is a law of attraction manipulation. It works the same way as light magic. It just has a different way of applying itself. And arguably, you could do something from light magic that turns into black magic if you have the right intention and you set it up correctly. So the first way that you protect yourself from black magic and psychic attacks is recognizing that it's stitched to the law of attraction. If someone can manifest something against you, you can de-manifest that thing that's being applied to you. And it's no different than when you've manifested something and you've realized, I don't want this anymore, and suddenly it starts like disappearing, disintegrating, and it starts unraveling so that you get to the next step. So shamans have this common understanding that if someone's cursing you, is because in some way, shape, or form, you manifested it. Rather, you manifested it because you need tension to grow, or it's some unresolved information that's been carrying itself out through a past lifetime. Since curses are energy and consciousness, they can transcend space and time, so you could be definitely getting affected by a curse that was placed in another timeline and you're not even aware of it. But when you become aware of it, you need to understand that I no longer want to manifest this experience, and I choose with my free will that I'm no longer going to participate. That will shut off 90% of the curses. A second most common way that you can dismantle any psychic attack is recognizing that you don't have attachment to whatever it's affecting. So for instance, if you are in a relationship and someone's sending you black magic curses so that your relationship breaks apart, but you don't really care how your relationship ends up anyway, the black magic curse doesn't really have a hold on you. A lot of people end up doing this as well by like letting go of their own fear. So, okay, like I have this fear of losing a ton of money and I know someone's cursing me so I can lose a ton of money. I no longer am afraid of losing a ton of money because that's just not the reality that I want to participate in or the reality that I'm gravitating to. No matter which route of non-attachment you go towards, non-attachment is one of the main things that will let you be affected by a curse or not affected by a curse, because your ego is what gets cursed. Not your spirit, not your soul, your ego. And your soul transfers parts of your ego from lifetime to lifetime. That's why you have patterns in this lifetime that you repeated in another lifetime, because your ego is transcendent. And this is why if you're somebody that has a hard time integrating your ego or even dealing with the other parts of yourself, a curse is going to affect you more because you're fractalized. Things that are whole are one with the universe, therefore they cannot get cursed. But if you're fractalized and you're always trying to like defeat your imposter syndrome, or you don't really know what you want because you're self-sacrificing yourself for everyone else, any of those loopholes where you do not feel whole are going to be exploited by a really advanced curse or hex. Number 3 is probably the easiest and most common sense one that I'm pretty sure you've never heard in your life before. The chances of someone actually knowing how to do black magic is very, very slim. In order for you to master black magic the way that I have, you have to practice for an extensive amount of time, and you need to have a lot of practice in different areas of reality, which most people are not willing to do because 99% of the people are not willing to put in the work to attain those types of skills. So chances are that when somebody's trying to curse you is because they're envious, they're jealous, or they're just getting into it so that they can feel better about themselves. That means there's a lot of loopholes or errors in the actual curse that they're applying to you because they're not mastered. And this is something that you can use to your advantage, because that's where you can go ahead and you can flip the script on the person on what kind of curse they're affecting you with. You can send it back to the sender. You can allow yourself to capture the energy of that negative curse and reapply it in a positive way by transmuting it towards your intentions and your manifestations that you're creating. Basically, the less experience someone has cursing someone overall, the less effective their curses are. And the thing is, most people curse you hoping that it's going to work, not knowing that it's going to work. And there's a huge difference in how the curse is going to be applied to you, because if I hope, I'm still leaving room for error. I'm still allowing chaos to take a form and say, this didn't actually work. If I know that I cursed you and I'm very confident and I don't shake myself from that knowing, the curse will take effect. But again, it's based off of my experience level. Not all curses are going to affect you the same. Just because there's curse A, right? Like let's just call it the lemon curse, right? If I apply the lemon curse on you because I've been practicing for such a long time, I know it's going to affect you, and I can even modify that curse to be more efficient than what it normally would be if you found it on the internet. Versus someone who is just finding the lemon curse, they're just applying it right now and they're testing it out. It may or may not work, and if it does end up working, it's it's really easy to get rid of, kind of sort of taking a shower. And I promise you, even a lot of the magicians on the internet that say, oh yeah, I will perform this curse on you, especially when you go on Etsy and other platforms, they're not actually experienced. They're still practicing while you're paying them. That's why some of their curses end up working and some of their curses don't. So you really have to allow yourself, if you're going to curse someone or someone's going to curse you, you have to find somebody who's actually really, really good at it. And that's not going to be a cheap, $12 spell. That's gonna cost you minimum $1,000 to curse somebody. I know because I know these types of people. And anyone who's gonna charge you $1,000 to apply a curse on another person isn't just gonna say, sure, pay me. They're actually going to ask you a series of questions that are like, hey, why do you want to curse this person? How long have you known this person? What's your intention with this curse? Is this something that you've been holding on to for a long time, or did it just recently happen? They'll go through a series of interview questions to make sure that they're not wasting their time and they're not also wasting your time by taking your money and not being able to deliver what you're asking for. And you're going to notice that these higher practitioners that know how to actually apply black magic are very difficult to find on the internet. You're not going to find them on eBay. You're not going to find them on Amazon. You're not going to find them even on TikTok and Instagram because most of them are under the radar. I'm out here telling you how this stuff works because I'm really sick and tired of all the games that are being played in the spiritual community with love and light and not really acknowledging both sides of the story. So like even me, if you were to hire me, I'm going to ask you all these series of questions and see even if it's worth it for me to do it, because I don't want to get into your pettiness. But if you're being abused or something like that, then a black magic curse can actually be really beneficial. And this is where black magic curses range in their karmic level, because if I'm doing it to help you out of a situation that is very dangerous for you, then I'm collecting good karma by applying this black magic curse on your enemies. But if I'm just doing it because you're really jealous of your sister's progress in her career, that's going to accumulate negative karma for the practitioner, and that's why true practitioners do not just randomly curse people. Number 4 is pretty obvious. It's your consciousness level. The more you practice on your own spirituality, the more you get to know yourself, the more you are aware of how the cosmos works, the less likely a curse is going to affect you. And that's where we go over those first 3 points: the law of attraction, your level of attachment, and actually who's applying the curse if they are experienced enough to practice that curse on you. On the 4th step, if you know how the first 3 work, your consciousness is less likely to get affected by a curse. Let's say somebody ends up sending you a curse and you feel it and you're aware of it. If their curse was intended to hit you 10 out of 10 on a scale, because of the fact that you know these first 3 rules and you don't react immediately out of fear, then the curse is only going to affect you at a 2 out of 10, which means you can take care of it pretty easily because you have a high enough resonance to block out the curse itself. Now, curses come in different sizes and different packages. Some curses just generate themselves directly from the person. So if it's an ego to ego curse, like, ooh, I hate you so much, I'm gonna burn a voodoo doll and do something on you, then ego to ego curses have a lot of attachment. So they're attached to whatever the story is. And if you're not attached to the story, then the curse only has one way to come back upon the person. Now, if you end up allowing yourself to practice, black magic from this higher perspective of using like shadow creatures, demonology, evil spirits, then those are different avenues that will exploit different areas of your consciousness. Demons are really good at exploiting your unconsciousness, so they stay in the shadows and they use your unconscious to dismantle your reality. Shadow beings will haunt you during the night and in any area where there's darkness present. Evil spirits will only be able to gravitate themselves towards you if you allow a lot of fear and paranoia in your reality. And knowing your level of consciousness, having a mastery over how you see yourself, the universe, and how the universe itself works is one of the fastest ways to just like literally become nullified by any negative energy that comes through. And this is where the 5th one really comes into play. It's one of the most master techniques that I'm going to give you on this particular video. So when you recognize that it's all about consciousness, you can warp your consciousness to integrate the curse into your life in a positive way. So let's say that someone's sending you a negative curse, which is because they're envious of you, right? I just keep coming back to that. Envy, right? Because that's usually one of the things that leads a lot of people to curse others. If you send me an envy curse, right, and I'm aware that you're sending me this curse, then I'm going to redirect that curse towards everyone who has envy towards me. Since you're one of the people sending me the curse, I can like curve the curse not only to hit you, but to also hit every other hater that's in my reality. What's really cool about this is that I didn't generate the curse, I just redirected the curse. So the original person that sends you the curse ends up accumulating all the karma of me redirecting that envy curse to opponent A, B, C, D. They start accumulating all the karma of every other person that I've redirected to, which makes the original sender's life even worse. Similarly, if you look at it from this perspective that this curse is being affected towards me, what is the lesson that I need to learn so that this curse gets shut off? And you treat it as a meditative practice. You take away the tension of the curse and you take away the majority of its effects on you, because you fall into this really tranquil, peaceful state, and you start actually going introspectively. Where are the loopholes in my consciousness where there's this allowance of negative energy able to manifest? If everything's a law of attraction and everything's a mirror, then what am I trying to show myself through this experience? Another upgrade to the same concept is imagining that since we can quantum jump and quantum shift through all these different realities, there's a version of you in an alternate reality that's getting affected by this curse, but this current version of you is not getting affected by that curse whatsoever, because you have transcended or quantum shifted into another version of yourself that isn't entertaining this issue with whoever's trying to curse you. Now, this last concept is really advanced, and I teach you more about it in our mystery school. Links are going to be in the description below, or if you work with me one-on-one, where I teach you all these advanced different secrets on manifesting and being able to inverse negative magic for your benefit. And in one of my classes called Adamans, I actually teach you how to negotiate with negative spirits. So negative spirits are two-timing. They allow themselves to do whatever it is that feels comfortable to them. So if I hire a demon to do something negative to you and you have the ability to perceive that demon, you can directly talk to that demon and strike a bargain with them that's even better than whatever I created. If you can do that, the demon's gonna be like, okay, I'll stop cursing you. I'll take your deal. And they end up redirecting their energy towards the original alchemist that sent the negative vibration. And then they do whatever else the agreement between you and that demon came up with. So the secret sauce to this last step is really just recognizing that the more rigid or the more dense you are with your thoughts on cursing, hexes, jinx, all that other stuff, black magic, the more effective it is. So like the more lucid you are, the less likely it is that it has an avenue to take a hold on you, because you're using the power of infinity against black magic. And that's one of the things that I really like to focus on this channel, is teaching you how to use the power of infinity so that you can maximize your light magic, but also maximize your protection or even black magic skills if that's the type of magician that you're in. Now, I'm not going to tell you that black magic is evil or is not effective, because I have been in many sessions where people need black magic to evolve in their consciousness. So it's really about how you apply the black magic and how limited you are to the perception of black magic, which pop culture has only taught us that black magic is evil, it can only be used to harm others, etc., when that's not the full scope of what you can actually do with it. You can definitely manifest good things with it, you can definitely heal with it, you can do so much with it. It's only based off of your density, and this is why a lot of spiritual teachers will tell you, be aware of what density of vibration you're in, because the more density, the more gravity, the more solid reality actually is, and then the problems will be less likely to be shifted out of your reality. Versus if you're more lucid, you're more infinite, you're looking at possibilities, everything has options and opportunities, then you always have a way out of anything that's being affected on you. Anyway, support the channel by grabbing the Antojai Tarot. Links are in the description below. Sending you all the love. Antojai.